Bayern Munich, they are unbeaten in the Champions League. The last 15 matches at their home grounds.
Exciting players in Vinicius, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham. They can cause you problems, but they are not invincible.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Arena. My name is Kwame. I'm here with the entire crew. We have the system boys on this side, and then the guy who refused to do what he has to do on my right-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I have Benedict here, I have Vincent here, I have Francis here, and the entire crew. Sister and I behind the camera. Big shouts to you. We're going to talk about a few things here, trending stories in the world of sports. Dreams FC losing to Zamalek on home grounds in Kumasi. 3-0. We're going to talk about that as well. Over the weekend, we saw a few games that had some very, very controversial VAR checks as well. We're going to delve into that one as well. Now, Liverpool, the club curse. We want to know what really is going on. I said things are not knocking things in the EPL. We could enter that side as well. Of course, UEFA Champions League semi-finals also is coming up. Who is going to qualify into the finals of this year's UEFA Champions League? Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Great. Let's quickly start with what happened yesterday in Kumasi. Dreams FC, high hopes. People were
coming to ask System Boys.
We'll come there. System
Where
Boy.
was he last week?
He's been busy. Where were you? Where were you last week? Where were you last week?
Oh, I've been around.
Asa, talk to me like
I've
a
been
man.
around.
You're wearing the best team.
I think last week I see you, sir.
You did, yeah, you see me. Last week, yeah, we
So
we
then
do
you know,
some
see-
move for somewhere. You understand? Yeah, no, Becca.
Uh,
So what have you been up to?
Oh yeah, the All-Star Festival, which is the official off-season football event in Ghana and in Africa. It's just a come together of football stars, the official off-season. So when the stars are back from, their club side, we just take them to communities they ordinarily do not go. So the first edition, which was the All-Star game, was in Accra here. Francois was in attendance, and so I think he can tell more.
System Boy.
And last year's
That's why they're saying about.
and the second edition was in Brongahafo, where we played. The stars play with the BNS stars. That's a selection from the Premier League teams, the first division, second division teams in Brongahafo. So across Diana, Brekum, Chelsea, Bechaim, BA, Bofakwa, and all those clubs. So they came together. Then they played against the All Stars team, which comprises of the Black Stars team. And every year we also bring an international guest. So the first edition was Frank Kessié. And at that time, I think he was about to move to Barcelona. Last season, it was Avram Grant after helping Zambia to qualify for the AFCON. And this year, we have a surprise for all our fans and people who have been looking forward to the All-Star Festival. So this year, we are going to Tamale. And you've seen the preparations and all the promo. So that's why last week I wasn't around. We've been doing the preparation and that stuff. So the BAC group team led by Dr. Neshkanti and the guys, we are putting things together. So this year, you're called Tamale. Tamale, Kaula.
And it's going to a doctor.
No, see, you see,
I didn't know that.
This System Boy is
He's
no
been,
good.
he didn't watch him
The
somewhere.
moment
Yeah.
he says System Boy and they give an eye like this.
No, but you see, I think you look around at him that way because he forgot to add one very, very important reason why I wasn't here.
Make you box on.
You know, say,
We go talk later.
When you say with you, you know, say go touch you, so you won't make I don't want to make her go there.
there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the two of them have been doing some things behind us, but we'll talk about that one later. Let's quickly jump into the conversation for today. Dreams FC bottled their chance to qualify to the finals on home grounds. What do you think happened?
Well, we all saw the first leg in Zamalek. And I was telling people that if you really follow African football very well, just a first leg result does not mean that you are already in the final. And the bars around the country, because basically when they were going to Cairo, everybody expected Dreams FC to get beaten. But they sat deep, they stuck to the game plan, and they were able to nullify all the threats that Zamalek carried on the day. Funny enough, forgetting that Zamalek's top scorer this season, Mustafa Said Al-Zizo, the chap spotted on 25 jerseys yesterday, accumulated cards, so he missed the first leg. Shikabala, who was the club captain, played, but he wasn't having his strike partner to augment his strength to cause problems. So they were disjointed. Coming back home, yesterday, fortunately, I was on GTV Sports Plus to do the game. And I was saying on set that if you look at the build-up leading to the game, the buzz around the team is we are winning at home, but it's a mistake. You have to stick to the gun. You should know that you are not on par with Zamalek based on player to player. They have players that are playing in their national teams dotted across the Arab world. You understand? And yesterday, Zizo stepped up. The biggest problem on the Achilles heels of Dreams FC yesterday was the fact that they conceded very early in the full glare of, I think, the players, let me say majority of the players, in exclusion of John Entry. That's basically the biggest crowd they've played in front of in terms of playing for Dreams FC as a club. The 40,000 seater yesterday in Kumasi was sold out. Like the stadium was full to its maximum capacity. So I don't know if that played the permutation, but at the end of the day, you look at Dreams FC, you could tell that whatever kept them in this season's en route to the semi-final in this season's CAF Confederations Cup was the same thing that destroyed them. First is their defensive masterstroke, how they go about their defensive duties. Spot on. But yesterday, in terms of defensive duties, they were of no existence. They concede silly goals. You look at their efficiency in front of goal in Ejenim Boateng, in Abdulaziz Issa, and then in John Entry. They've been lethal and ruthless in front of goal. Yesterday, they carved out decent premium chances, but they were not lethal enough in front of goal. If you watch the game, you'll be frustrated based on the kind of glaring chances that fell their way and the way at which they recklessly put those balls anyhow, especially in the first half, they considered 2 goals. But if they've been efficient enough in front of, they would have cancelled those goals because the kind of chances that Ejenim Boateng, Abdulaziz Issa, and then John Entry missed yesterday, trust me, it's you can't play in the CAF Confederation Cup semi-final and be wasteful like the way they did. And with Zamalek, second half, it was basically game management for them. And when you are managing a game, you are down by 2 goals, you will take the gamble. So they allowed Dreams FC to commit more players up front, and then they had a decent curve and an opportunity, and then they managed to get the 3rd goal to kill off the game. And from there, it was game over because Dreams FC basically need to score 4 unanswered goals to be able to qualify in the space of 20 minutes in the second half, and they were never going to do that. So in all, I think it's a brilliant agenda for them. They've served Ghana football well. I can't remember, since 2004, no Ghanaian club has been to the semi-finals of any inter-club competition on the African continent. They have done that in their maiden edition. And I think they've learned lots of lessons going into any other season that lies ahead of them. They will come back, play the Ghana Premier League, try to avoid relegation. They are in the quarterfinals of the MTN FA Cup again. If they can win, they can go back to Africa to have a second crack at the CAF Confederations Cup. So I think kudos to the entire Dreams FC family team. They've done very well this season.
Benedict?
Okay, with Dreams yesterday, looking at their game, as Francis was saying, they missed a lot of chances. Having 20 shots on target and none of them entering the pool was a very difficult situation. Especially playing at home and knowing that you have the fans behind you was something they should have gone into that game and felt like, okay, this is a home game. We need to play for the fans. Because the Kumasi Sports Stadium was filled to the extent of, as he was saying, some of the players have not even played at this level or this crowd before. So the coach going into the game, I think overconfidence was part because they felt, okay, it's a home game. And it will be hard for Zamalek coming to beat them in Kumasi. But Zamalek has played at the highest level of CAF competitions. They know how to travel. They know what to do. Even to the build-up to the game, Zamalek, they were training in KNUST, and some of the KNUST guys were playing football, I think, on their campus. They went there to even connect with them, try to support them and get that feeling. So they know how to play in Africa, especially going on away games. So Dreams, looking at some sides, they had the chances to score, but they didn't. But let's look at the positives. The positives are they're getting to this stage. It's a lesson for them to learn going into that. Okay, as Francis said, with their FA Cup, they need to win and go to Africa again. Now, going into Africa, they know that going and getting a 0-0 draw away doesn't really qualify you to the next round. You need to win. So they should look at the positives. They shouldn't dwell more on the negative. They should just look at the positive. Even making money from this competition to help with their facilities and other stuff, and also learning from some mistakes they did. So they should just learn from this, look at the positives and better up.
System boy.
Yeah, I think kudos to Dreams FC. I mean, being it their maiden edition in the CAF Confederation, I think they did very well since 2004. And none of the Ghanaian teams have been to the semi-final of the CAF Confederation. And it was an interesting way. Yesterday, Kumasi people showed up. I mean, I'm not sure say Ghana, Wembley, the proper Wembley, they showed up. And when I watched the first 6 minutes of the game, I knew Dreams FC were going to lose. Because comparing to how they approached the game in Egypt and how they, approached the game in Ghana was completely different. And you see, playing against Zamalek is used to that, because I think after the game, Karim Zito was saying that lack of lack of luck. No, he said they lost because of inexperience, and also they had bad luck at their side. That was why they couldn't convert their chances. And I think Zamalek was well prepared for this game, because they knew they were a better side than Dreams FC comparing to how they played against them in Egypt. The kind of chances they missed during playing against Dreams. So coming to this game, how Dreams approached the game, I think if they had played the same formats they played in Egypt, would have been an advantage for Dreams FC. The first 8 minutes, you could see that Zizou, Jaziri, Shalabi, and Akinyonu, is it Akinyola or something? Akinyola.
Samson Akinyola.
The Dreams FC 5-back couldn't contain them. I think the first 8 minutes, they had, 2 clear piercing passes. That was very crucial for Zamalek to, just score the first 2 goals in the game before that corner came in. So I think it was going to be very crucial for Dreams FC, how they were attacking and how they were dominating the game in the first 20 minutes. I knew Zamalek was going to punish them, and the least chances they got, they just delivered it. And Jonanchi and the attackers on Dreams FC, I know they missed a lot of chances. So they did very well. They are maiden edition, so kudos to them. Then in the quarterfinal, they still have a chance to bounce back to the CAF Confederation next season. So they're in the quarterfinals, and I hope maybe they can do better and get back. So kudos to Aminu Shadow, Coach Karim Zito, the playing body, and all the guys.
All right. So let's take it to England. We say that England, or the English Premier League, is the most exciting Premier League in the world. We are not going there yet. Let's talk about VAR. We know for a fact that in very developed countries, VAR is very, very active.
VAR.
I can't say.
VAR.
VAR.
Video assistant referee.
Many developed countries. We don't know of many developed continents. Let me use that. We know that on Africa sometimes it be some ways more. But one of the best usage of VAR probably be the AFCON. You understand?
That's the best tournament
so far.
So
the EPL?
No.
The
AFCON. Okay.
So let's look at how damaging or how advantageous or disadvantageous VAR is in football. We can use a typical example as between the Arsenal and Spurs game. You're an Arsenal fan. What did you think about that decision?
Which of the decisions? Is it the one that gave Spurs the penalty?
No, the Spurs goal that was disallowed.
Yes.
The Spurs goal that was that. You want me to talk about it? And you want me to be just...
You know what? Be honest. We don't
Have
do
you
bias.
ever been honest about Chelsea?
Yes, always.
See, I will sit here and I will give you sequences as to the reason why I don't like VAR. Last 2 seasons, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang
I knew it was going to be an Arsenal issue.
got red carded in a game, a replica of the tackle that Nicholas Jackson meted out to Tomiyasu in the game against Arsenal. You watched the game.
I did.
Did you remember Aubameyang got red carded in the English Premier League with the same replica tackle? But with the tackle of Jackson on Tomiyasu, VAR looked at it, saw nothing wrong with it. Then you ask yourself questions. This season, Arsenal went to Tynecastle, which is the Sports Direct Arena in Newcastle United. The goal that Newcastle United scored Arsenal in that game, when the corner kick set piece got whipped into the box, we all saw the 2 hands of the Newcastle United attacker on the back of Gabriel Mihalas, clearly pushing him before having a glance to the ball to score. VAR saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. This season, Arsenal against West Ham in January, the goal they scored, the ball, VAR cannot judge whether the ball crossed the line or not, but they said it's inconclusive. So the on-pitch result stands in the full glare of everybody. So if you ask me to be just about that, I would say the entire video assistant refereeing system in England is a chaotic scene. It's mayhem. It's supposed to take away drama and cheating out of the game. But the precedence that the English VAR sets rather drags the game further into disrepute. You look at the Spanish La Liga. until Barcelona played against Real Madrid, that they got it wrong. That one, you can't blame the VAR because that should have been a goal line technology decision. La Liga said they are not going to use the goal line. So that one, let's take VAR away. The VAR decisions in La Liga, Serie A, and then the German Bundesliga is better. It's on record in the Bundesliga that a match got ended in the first half. Players walked down the tunnel. VAR reviewed something and saw that I took a wrong decision. He dragged all the players back onto the pitch, allowed the center referee to go and have a look at the monitor and came back with the right decision, thereby awarding somebody a penalty to score. That is what we want to see in the game. Some seasons ago, Manchester United versus Brighton. After the game, VAR held over referee Andy Mariner and told him that we made the wrong decision. He went to the VAR, looked at it, came back, gave a penalty, and it was converted by Bruno Fernandes after the game. Those are the things we want to see. But not for them to be taking these kind of malicious decisions that someone will say is, look, Nottingham Forest against Everton. Nottingham Forest put out a tweet and they were so furious about decisions of the VAR because they feel like they had decisions that VAR should even call out for. They don't call it out. So to me, I would rather prefer that the English game goes without a VAR. They should just allow the referees to ref so that when there are mistakes, we take it as if it's human error. For human beings to sit behind machines, zoom things, I am of the opinion this season.
Zoom things.
Zoom things and then still come back with the wrong decisions. They say VAR, where they are proper cheating. And rather makes you hurt. Because if you know that there's no VAR and referees miss it, it's normal. This season, Arsenal versus Manchester at Emirates. I stand of the opinion, I'm an Arsenal fan. But that Garnacho goal that got chopped off for offside, it's not an offside. It's a clear onside goal. But VAR will squeeze their things and drag some human beings and say their fingertip is a little bit, and then they'll put some marginal red ink and just stay offside, like offside and onside. Last 2 seasons, Liverpool versus Everton at Goodison Park, the goal that Mane scored last minute and goal chop. Do you know, they said the Jesse, a pinch of the Jesse. So to me, I don't want to see VAR in the English game in particular because they don't know how to use the VAR and it's better killing people. You know, football is emotions.
Yeah.
That's how I say VAR reduces the lifespan of people on earth. Because people do, VAR gives you double agony. Make no mistake about it. When the center referee gets it wrong in live play, it's human error. But when you have another person that pauses the game, zooms things, I will always use it. You will zoom things, check, drag you back, drag this, drag that. In the full glare of VAR, last season, Manchester City won the league with 4-point difference, right? Arsenal against Brentford, 6 matches to go. Ivan Toney clearly scored an offside goal at the Emirates Stadium. VAR didn't see, they didn't check it. They checked the final touch. They didn't check leading to the thing. And then they allowed the goal to stand. 10 minutes or 15 minutes later, they put out the PGMOL, put out a distance saying sorry to us now that the goal should have been chopped off. It's an offside goal. And the pace you get at the end of the season, you understand? So left to me alone, the VAR, you're funny frame game.
Okay. All right. Listen. I love it as we understand. Yeah, go.
That's enough for
Pains.
Well, I think the English VAR there, me always be America say VAR never the English Premier League, they look alike they look alike VAR never because you see, since our VAR, but we knew that VAR was coming to improve the game. Some of the mistakes and things are the center referees, the line ones and line twos are not omuhuno. We are going to use the VAR to capitalize on that now. Yeah, they improve your game. There are a lot of games no doubt about that. VAR, I improve games, but some of them too, a more very, a better share of the game. Just recently, Chelsea game against Aston Villa. Chelsea's winner now disaster share, and the referee said was a foul on defender, Badiashile, so pushy defender. Fast forward, the previous games against Brentford, we saw, Kopama
was pushed.
Lobe, nice pass to Sterling. Sterling be Pimashim. Then Matt Roaslev, Raheem Sterling. That wasn't a penalty. So sometimes the issue with the VAR is you see Manchester United
So it's
against, let's say,
inconsistency.
Sheffield, they will take this game, and the next game, referee be buna say, oh, so I mean that inconsistency now. I mean the VAR decision. That's I mean the VAR in the English Premier League in Amana very
A typical
tough.
instance would be last season, Chelsea versus Manchester United,
Yeah.
where Maguire the pool got Jesus in here.
See.
Cucurella's head.
Cucurella said, clear.
Clear.
But they allowed everything to stand.
Clear.
They allowed a goal. It's terrible. You know, no, the clubs themselves, they are feeling the heat. And you know, this season, earlier about 3 weeks ago, they went for a meeting and they have realized that no, the English VAR, the lines they are drawing is inaccurate. So they voted unanimously that next season.
You have a problem with the lines they are drawing.
They want to see. They voted unanimously.
Sake of this line, and it's not Chelsea. Last 2 seasons, we couldn't win either the FA Cup and the EFL against Liverpool.
And you know, they voted unanimously that they want to abolish the VAR determining the offside decision. So from next season, the semi-automated offside this machine will be implemented in the English Premier League.
We use that at the World Cup.
The World Cup, and it was this season. The Italian Serie A, the semi-automated machines are being used, and with that, within 30 seconds, it freezes the entire action, and it show you the diagram, and you can't fault the technology. FIFA brought VAR. FIFA has realized that no, for human beings to be drawing that line, how do they draw the line? FIFA implemented semi-automated at the World Cup in Qatar. Fast forward, Serie A went on board, and England keeps drawing these imaginary lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that next season, I just want even the VAR itself to be kicked out of the English league.
And you know one thing about the VAR, if it goes against your team,
but if it goes for you,
but someone say fans no bianca sao. I mean, recently last year when Arsenal was complaining about that Newcastle issue, I mean, Man City fans, I mean, they didn't care. United fans didn't care. But say a team against Arsenal. Then Arsenal goes, oh yeah, it happened to us last season. It happened to us against. So that has been the issue. And I think, I mean, the PFA, the referee association in England, no, I mean, they should work on it because it looks as if the officiating in England, as compared to, I mean, the 5 major leagues in Europe, the officiating in England are very, very, very bad. I mean, they have top referees too. But so they're more officiating to compare, I mean, the Italian league, the Spanish league, the Bundesliga. I mean, they are far ahead of the English league. So I think, I mean, they have to work. They have to work on it.
With my VAR decision, I think it has worried a lot of clubs, especially Nottingham Forest against Everton. Before the game, Nottingham Forest wrote a letter to the EFL telling them that the VAR referee was a Luton Town fan, so he should be taken off. They didn't mind them. And in the game, they had 3 decisions against them. And now, if Nottingham Forest are to go on relegation, that is one thing that would worry them. Going back to the Arsenal Spurs game, with my knowledge of football, what I know is if a ball touches the team in defense, if the ball touches your player before the ball falls in front of the attacking team, it doesn't classify as an offside. The ball had to hit Tomiyasu's leg, hit Gabriel's head, before falling in front of the Spurs player. And if the player is to score and they are still classifying that as an offside, then there's an issue. And that same decision led to Arsenal scoring the second goal.
Well, that rule that you are quoting, the rule has been amended. If you read the rules, they said a player standing in an offside position that gets a fair advantage from a deflection or a deflected ball. It's not classified as being played onside by the deflection. If it's a deliberate back pass to the player in an offside position, it doesn't hold. The goal will stand. So if you look at the sequence, the reason why they took the offside because they deemed the deflection on both players. They deemed the touch from both players to be a deflection because the ball got whipped into the den by a Tottenham player, and so far as he was standing in an offside position, they deemed the touch on Tomiyasu and Gabriel as deflected balls. But I understand the frustrations on the part of the Spurs because it's 2 different players. So they will say that it's you see, the PFA, I say the PFA, the PGMOL always have ways and means of protecting themselves. If I'm an Arsenal fan and that goal gets chopped off, trust me, I'll be fuming. But they'll give you scenarios to that, and it will tickle your head sometimes. Arsenal got away with one. Let me tell you the truth. They really got away with it. But if you look at the rule on the offside, they will still classify those 2 touches on Tomiyasu and Gabriel as deflections. And based on that, they've chopped off the goal.
But with Tamiyasu's own, I didn't see it as a deflection because he was trying to block the ball. It's
But you
different
see-
from
you
the
see,
ball
It's different from what
hitting you
you see
without
and,
you
and
not
what's
knowing.
the rules say there.
Yes.
That's we can argue that sometimes if you really look at the rules, some of these things should stand.
Yes.
If you admit that, then I think we move on.
And with VAR, as Vicent was saying, even with the Chelsea game, it was obvious that the defender, there were 2 defenders in that situation, Badlesher and Carlos. Though he tried to push him
Muzzle him.
off, he didn't even fall. And if you could see from Carlos' reaction, he didn't even feel or raise his hand concerning like, okay, I've been pushed or I've been maybe pushed aside. That
Because he
should
felt
be
it was
classified.
an
Yeah,
illegal
he
tackle.
lost the
It was
ball. Yeah.
something that was okay. So I don't know why this game has to go and the referee would come back to that. And this same Chelsea team suffered from the same situation where Sterling was pushed and wasn't given a penalty. Arsenal, Tottenham, the same thing happened. As Francis was saying against Newcastle, Gabriel was pushed. Kai Havertz also pushed someone to get the
Yeah,
header.
he pushed the
And
Spurs defender.
These are situations where clubs feel it takes points from them. Because if Spurs goal had to stand, maybe they would have had a chance to go on and win the game.
Okay.
The same as Chelsea. Chelsea lost 3 points because of just a decision.
So,
And this is something that happens and it takes points from the clubs. I remember last season, City against Everton, where Rodri used his hand to just clear the ball from their penalty area. It cost Arsenal the league trophy. Because if that foul was taken, Everton would have had a penalty and maybe convert it. So it's something they should look at because these clubs train, buy players, do everything. And on the field of play, a referee decision will just turn a whole situation around.
Chelsea against Manchester City. That free kick.
Cole Palmer's free kick,
Well,
Jack Grealish.
Even
So
if that
these
ball
are the
wasn't
same
a
thing.
handball, it's supposed to be a corner.
And even Man United against Coventry, a line was just drawn trying to put players into positions that they are not in to just because sometimes I feel the referees makes those decisions, especially Anthony Taylor, makes those decisions so that at the end of the game,
Let's not talk about that one.
he has his
Anthony
picture.
Taylor is a center referee.
People then they do.
No,
people then they
especially
draw the
Anthony-
line.
VAR.
No, Anthony Taylor against Spurs, where Cucurella's hair was pulled.
Yeah.
Mike Dean, no, it wasn't Mike Dean. It was, I've forgotten the referee. Atkinson said that Anthony Taylor was his mate and he felt like calling him to the monitor was a long process because the game was going into an.
And they said it was a tension game and blah, blah, a lot of things.
But that same corner cost Chelsea 2 points. So these are decisions they should look at. Fine, they bringing in the semi one would help. But with England, I don't even trust them because with the semi one, it captures, turn the whole thing into like an animation thing. Where with that one, if they are to push in
VAR.
players up and down, it will happen because we've seen in the league where lines are being drawn at the
Tip of
tip
your
of
boot.
a player's boot.
And
as
they
an
zoom it
offside.
in a way
So-
that they will zoom. That's why I say they zoomed in. See, you look at the famous handshake.
People wait and they draw that line. Oh, man, you're pretty cool.
Charlie.
The famous.
I want you to T-square that.
See, Manake, the famous handshake of Antonio Conte and Thomas Tuchel. who brought that? Is it not the same VAR?
VAR.
With the VAR,
The
no.
tensions was on the pitch and spilled over to the full time. Because one team clearly, Chelsea felt like you've robbed us. It was in that game that someone pulled Cucurella's hair, right?
Yes, it was.
So you see all those things. It's disheartening sometimes as a fan or as a coach to watch your team being cheated in the full glare of all these things. See, if it is a human error, you say, oh, it has passed. Look at Cucurella's own. The referee, okay, is human error. But VAR has seen it. You and I sitting at home, we've seen it clear. In slow-mo, VAR be catch yourself, tubu, pause, with your mamimbra. Is it Liverpool and Spurs that they just allow a clear offside go to stand because communication, keke.
Lack of communication.
And with VAR, I think last 2 seasons with Chelsea, it happened. Chelsea were leading the league table where Chelsea went to, was it Swansea or Brighton? It was Odoi had a ball. He was crossing the ball to Kai Havertz or Timo Werner, and the player used his hand to take the ball from below his leg like this. They were like, oh no, this thing isn't a foul ball. It touched the leg before touching the hand. So it's a deflection. And it caused Chelsea that competition because going into after that, Chelsea had a lot of injuries. So with the VAR, one thing is they should look at it, at least. It's worrying some of the clubs.
Okay.
With Nottingham Forest, I was in pain for them because they are battling relegation. And they made it known to you that, okay, we are battling relegation against Luton Town. And this is a Luton Town fan as VAR. So you should change the person for us. They didn't mind them. And it went into the game to harm them. So now, if they are to go on relegation today, that fixture or that game would be a big...
And you know the funny thing, after the game, when Nottingham Forest complained, they said the VAR didn't invite the referee, so nobody can blame the VAR. But if the referee misses something that's a glaring mistake, it's a duty of the VAR to pause the game and call him over to... He didn't even bother.
Well, let's talk about another competition that will be happening within the week where we know for a fact that there are going to be VAR checks. That's the UEFA Champions League. That's the semi-finals. Bayern playing Real Madrid. Dortmund playing PSG. That's wow. Those are two amazing games happening tomorrow. Happening on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes, Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'm looking at the fixtures and I'm like, yo, my. Dortmund versus PSG. Let's start with that one. We'll save the best for last. Dortmund versus PSG. We saw PSG ruthlessly dealing with Barca to qualify into the semi-finals. Senior man Dembele scored and celebrated against his former club. And I thought they did a send-off for him. But like senior man, as he go, he forgets that he even played for Barca. Let me start with you on this one. The game between Dortmund and PSG. What's your predictions? What should we expect?
With these two clubs, we weren't even expecting them to get here. Because Dortmund against Atletico, we're all expecting Atletico to beat them. Barca to beat PSG, but they are here. With Dortmund playing home, we know with the yellow wall, you go there, Atletico has been there and they felt it. So with this game, Dortmund would have a upper hand. But I think they played in the group stages and PSG really showed them that, yes, we can come there and pick results. So Dortmund are going to learn. And I'm seeing a draw game at least, but there will be a lot of goals because there are two attacking teams who will come out to play. So I'm seeing maybe both teams scoring and a draw game.
All right, Vincent, Dortmund versus PSG.
Well, these teams were in the same group at the group stage. Although Dortmund, finished the group as the leader, but we watched the first leg when PSG went to Signal Iduna. It was an interesting game, and I don't see the likes of Mbappe, Vitinha, and Dembele. If they have free chance to get the balls from the midfield, I think they are going to cause a lot of harm to Dortmund's team. Dortmund's team is not as much as strong as the PSG team currently because they just won their French league and Dortmund, they have been on and off, and Dortmund a team so it's one team that you cannot trust them. We also saw what happened against Dortmund and Newcastle. We also saw what happened between Dortmund and PSG during the group stage. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. Both teams would like to dominate the game, use the flanks very well. But I think it's going to be a double chance for PSG and over 2.5 goals in that game. There will be a lot of corners in that game as well.
All right. Francis?
Well, if you follow European football and you look at Borussia Dortmund, in every 5 years, they turn out to play very well in the Champions League. Some seasons ago, Signal Iduna Park is a fortress. It's a den. If you go there, they will devour you. And this season is their home form that has basically kept them in the Champions League because they always find a way to grind out the results, especially when they are playing at home. When they were playing the group stages, when they went to France, they lost that game. But when in the return leg in Germany, they basically put PSG to the sword. And they have some exciting players in their round. Fulkrug. This Jadon Sancho has rediscovered his form. Sorry about that. He's playing some fantastic stuff. They have Evergreen Marco Reus, the club captain these days, and they have Matt Hummels and Matson, the Chelsea loanee, or they sold him. I don't know. There is another exciting defender there, Nicolas Sula. So they have experienced players. Sula played for Bayern Munich some seasons ago. He's back to Dortmund. Matt Hummels is a World Cup winner. So if you look at what they have a good collection of youth and then experienced players, and they always have the 12th man behind them. The arrival of the team bus alone can rattle you before you enter the stadium in Dortmund. And they always believe in their home form to be able to carry them through. The interesting thing here is PSG will have to visit them first, if my memory serves me right.
Yes.
So PSG will be up for it. Because if you allow Dortmund to take 2-3 goals lead against you, they are always capable of getting an odd goal away from home. With Kylian Mbappe, the PSG project has always been like they want to win the Champions League. They've invested heavily in the top 3 best players in the world at a point in time. It never worked where they had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. It never worked because of the balance of the team. But this season, if you look at them, they might not necessarily have those star players there. I said Dembele and Mbappe. The rest of the players are average players, but they are playing collectively this season as a team. And for them to beat Barca, I was personally shocked because Barcelona basically ran riot over them in Paris. But they found a way to beat them and beat them properly in Spain. So this game will be tough. It will be interesting. We will have the star players shine under the limelight. But at the end of the day, I expect the home team, Borussia Dortmund, to take a slight win into the second leg.
Another big game that will happen on Tuesday is Bayern versus Real Madrid. Now, these two teams, I in the beginning of the Champions League, tipped them to go to the finals because they were doing so well at the time. And I say at the time because later we saw that Bayern wasn't really doing too well in their domestic league. But somehow, they've rediscovered their form in the Champions League.
It's not about some way, somehow. They have an experienced gaffer who loves the Champions League anthem in Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel is a brilliant manager. We saw him at Chelsea. He took over a team from Frank Lampard that were really struggling to put together decent results. In the next 3 months, Chelsea are European champions against the finest team that season in the Champions League. Because that season, Pep Guardiola's Man City eliminated PSG. They eliminated Dortmund. You understand? And PSG at that time were the conquerors of Bayern Munich. They themselves were the defending champions before PSG eliminated them. So if you look at how Thomas Tuchel manages his team in the Champions League in particular, he has game plan. And that game plan worked to perfection. Arsenal, en route to playing against PSG in the quarterfinal, were scoring 4 goals, 5 goals, unreplied goals. But Bayern Munich basically came to London and stifled them with a 2-2 draw. When they were going to Germany, I told people that Thomas Tuchel would win. They thought I was joking. In that game, Arsenal were reduced to half chances. And they picked their moments. They have players like Joshua Kimmich. They have players like, what's the name of this striker?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, who is on top of his game. He has scored about 42 goals this season across every competition. And that's one of the highest goal scorers in European football this season. So if you have a striker that can guarantee you goals, especially in the Champions League, you win. You could tell that last weekend, the Bayern fans basically petitioned more than 10 million or 10,000 petitions to the Bayern board that they should never sack Thomas Tuchel at the end of the season. They feel like the players he's using this season is not his players. They should allow him the freedom to recruit his own players. And these were the same things that get him sacked from Chelsea. Where he felt like, let me recruit my own players and play with them. When I don't get the results, you sack me. Todd Bowley felt like, no, I have to recruit the players. And at the end of the day, when he sacked him, he said they sacked Thomas Tuchel because they felt like where they want to go, his vision and their vision were not matching. And that was the biggest mistake they committed. It's a blunder. And it's hunting Chelsea as of today. So if you look at what he is doing, you can't write him off against this what's the name? Real Madrid team. The Real Madrid team has exciting players in Vinicius, Rodrigo, and this
Jude
guy,
Bellingham.
Jude Bellingham. They can cause you problems, but they are not invincible. If Bayern can start to the game plan and play on the front foot, because Bayern Munich has always played on the front foot. They always love to play from the flanks and create quick counter-attacking moments for themselves. With Leroy Sané, the French guy, what's his name? Kingsley Coman. When they are fit, they can Serge Gnabry. They can cause you countless problems on the wings. And up front, when they can get the right services onto the feet of Harry Kane, he has proven that he's one of the most leader strikers in world football currently. And they can cause problems to this unstable Real Madrid backline. We saw them struggle. They defended for their lives in the quarterfinal against Real Madrid and dragged the games into penalties and were able to win by the odd goal. So I am tipping Bayern Munich over 2 legs to be able to cause an upset.
All right, Vincent?
Well, I think it's going to be, we are going to, play the final before the final. And it's going to be an interesting game. Bayern Munich, they are unbeaten in the Champions League. The last 15 matches at their home grounds, and you say ubetimi akọ Allianz Arena Kakofa win. In their last 15 matches, they are unbeaten at the Allianz Arena. And also Madrid, coming as the 14 winners. They're also on a 10 matches unbeaten run in the Champions League, both home and away. And I think it's going to be an interesting game. With Tuchel's, next season, we know that he's not going to continue as the head coach for the Bavarians, and they've lost out the Bundesliga to Bayern for Leverkusen. They lost the DFB Pokal, and they also lost the Super Cup to RB Leipzig again. The Champions League is saving grace for Tuchel. To at least win something before he leaves. And this is the same coach. The past 5 seasons or past 4 seasons, he's been to the final of the UEFA Champions League 2 times. One with PSG, he lost to Bayern Munich, and one with Chelsea, which he won against Manchester City. And you see, these 2 clubs they are coming to meet. One eliminated Arsenal, and also the other also eliminated Man City, one of the best teams in Europe currently. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. But let's not forget that one of the coaches whenever he missed Ancelotti, Ancelotti Thomas Tuchel, because their recent game, Madrid's last game against City, after I think the post-match, Ancelotti was like, this game is one of the toughest games he has faced after he met Chelsea some years ago. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. Both teams, I think whoever takes his chances very well is going to win that game. It's a win-win situation for both teams regarding the record, the stats backing Bayern Munich as in being unbeaten at their home grounds. Madrid also being unbeaten in their last 10 games in Europe is going to be a tough game. That's why I said we are going to play the final before the final. So I think we are going to see a lot of goals in this game. Harry Kane, he scored his 400th career goal over the weekend, and whenever the ball goes to him, he's going to score. Vinicius, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo are also another threat that the Bayern defense should look out to. So I think it's going to be I see a drawn game in that game, but then the likely possible win will be for Madrid, and also I see over 2.5 goals in that game.
All right, Benedict, finish it off.
Okay, so with this game, I think it's a revenge for Thomas Tuchel. Going into the Chelsea times when he visited Madrid, every Chelsea fan that time felt that we can go to Santiago Bernabeu and win the game. They had 3 goals scored, and Real Madrid came back and equalized and sent the game to extra before Madrid winning the game. So it's a big revenge for him to at least take this trophy for Bayern Munich, because as Vincent said, this is the final before the final. I'm not downplaying PSG or Dortmund, but any club from this semi-final would win the Champions League. But Real Madrid going into the Champions League, they have this Champions League spirit around them, where when the situation becomes tough, something happens for them to go through. But when it comes to the Champions League, which a coach that I think understands the competition so well is Thomas Tuchel, because with his Chelsea time, he went the whole Champions League season conceding just 4 goals. And it was an amazing record. So going into Champions League games, he understands how the competition is being played. He understands what he needs to do, and he understands how to go into every game. And I know Real Madrid will come in, sit down, relax, and feel, okay, they would attack, so we can hit them on the counter. But Thomas, when it comes to Champions League games, he knows how to play them. That's why he was able to turn Pep Guardiola's head around in the final for him to even take out his DM. So when it comes to Champions League game, he's the best. But I'm just hoping that he could just win this trophy and just leave, because he has been disrespected a lot at Bayern Munich with club presidents, a whole backing staff. They've been saying a whole lot of things about him. Recently, there was a comment that he can't even develop young players like Alphonso Davies and stuff. And I think after winning them this Champions League, even though their fans are forcing him to stay because they had the option of going for De Zerbi.
De Zerbi or Ralph Ragnick?
No, they went for De Zerbi. They were looking at De Zerbi before Ralph. But now De Zerbi, things are not going on well. So they are looking at
United.
Ralph Ragnick.
Wow.
He's the current coach of Austria.
And now those 2 are not working. So they are thinking, okay, then we should keep Thomas. But I think he should just leave. I'm just hoping that he could come back to Chelsea. Leave and come and join
Not
us.
under top balling.
that might not happen. We know the American owners of Chelsea have some
They will
ego.
swallow their pride.
Yeah, swallow his pride. They will swallow it. I'll confirm
Now,
anyway.
now, if you put Thomas Tuchel and Jose Mourinho down for Chelsea fans to break their neck for one, trust me, majority will go for Thomas Tuchel.
Of course. I mean, Tuchel, he's the guy that brings instant change.
Mourinho is a quick fix, but Mourinho after 2 seasons will break the team and leave.
Well, this is why we break the conversation and say goodbyes to you. But thank you so much for tuning in and watching us on YouTube. Do well to subscribe to our channel. So anytime we drop a video, you can be one of the first people to watch the video. We talk about everything football, the footballers, what they do, some on and off pitch things that happen. We're going to get all the juice and all the scoop right here on the Sports Arena right here. And it's being sponsored to you or being brought to you by MYBET.AFRICA. Now, if you want to bet, if you want to get money, if you want to play games that will bring money into your pocket, just log on to MYBET.AFRICA, register if you're 18 years and above, and then you could play any of the games there as well. Thank you so much, Benedict. Thank you so much, Vincent. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to give shout outs to your man.
Francis. Big shout outs to Mr. Apeloto. My boss.
The big man.
Anytime I hear your name, I just take my passport
Mr.
and
Joe
I kiss it like this.
Mwah.
Allah, welcome.
2026.
Welcome.
Yankee.
Here I come. We are going to America. So big shout out to you, boss. I know say they see the video every time. Yeah, you just shake your head and say this boy will travel to America. Thank you so much. System Boy has been quiet. He said he's been doing some runnings with Dr.
Enes Cranton.
Enes Cranton.
That's
I
the
didn't
chief
know he was a
executive
doctor.
for the BAC group.
Great. So
Yeah.
All-Star Festival, right?
Yeah,
All-Star
All-Star
Festival
Festival.
happening in Tamale.
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 Yeah,
So,
June.
Tamale this June.
Yeah.
Great. So mark your calendar if you want to experience this. Go all the way to Tamale and then you can enjoy this beautiful football experience. My name is Nana Kwame. On the road, they call me Kwame Labi. My boys also call me Super Nana because I'm super.
You don't
Enjoy the
give
rest.
shout outs to Mr. James.
That's my
James Poby.
His boss.
His boss. Give him special shout outs today.
Special shout outs to Mr.
He's the general manager of MYBET.
General Manager of MYBET, Mr. James Poby.
correct.
Do the needful. Greetings to you. I'm out and enjoy the rest of our programs.